6 News.
This Davenport home is a total loss after a fire last week. Emergency crews got several calls about the fully engulfed home just before 11 p.m. Tuesday, September 13th. Our local Red Cross is helping the person who lived here, along with 16 others who were affected by house fires just last week alone. Joining me live now is Brian Williamson with the Red Cross. Brian, first of all, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, we know it's the first day of fall, at least officially at 8 p.m., and we know it's going to be getting colder outside. So that can usually mean an increase in house fires.
Correct. So, wanting to make sure, of course, that you and your family are safe. Just some thoughts here on doing that. Smoke alarms are a great place to start, of course. A working smoke alarm actually increases your likelihood of surviving a home fire by about 50%. So do make sure that you have working smoke alarms in your home. If you have a multiple-story home, make sure they're on each of your house there. And in addition to that, have a plan, have an evacuation plan in case there is a fire, and go over that with your family members, especially with kids. Make sure kids know what they should do in the event of a fire, and even just what the sound of a smoke alarm means. All these things that you can do in advance to give yourself a better chance of survival in a home fire.
Absolutely. I feel like we learn a lot of that stuff as kids, and then as adults, we kind of forget to go over it. It's like, you learn it in school when the firefighter visits the class and whatnot, but then as an adult, you kind of forget, like, you still need to have those plans because things can be pretty scary in a time of a fire.
Sure can. And again, just taking that time to go over it, again, with your family there. We actually have a free app, the Red Cross Emergency app. You can actually create your own plan right on there. So lots of resources available for families as well.
Absolutely. Well, talk about the help that victims of disasters like fires receive through the Red Cross. Oftentimes we report these stories and we do say the Red Cross responded and is helping 1, 2, 3 adults. What does that actually mean?
Sure. So we have a disaster response team standing by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And these are volunteers that go out after disasters. For example, a home fire, as you mentioned. And so what happens there, our volunteers arrive and we help the individual with the immediate needs. And so that's making sure that you have food and shelter, and if for some reason prescriptions need to be replaced because they were destroyed in a fire, or medical equipment like a cane or wheelchair, helping facilitate things like that. Again, it's those immediate needs after the fire, and then moving forward, casework is available, mental health services available to really just want to be able to help people in what can be, of course, just a very difficult time of life.
Wow, absolutely. So you spoke about the volunteers there, and those are the people that are going to be showing up in a time of need. Your workforce is made up, I'm sure, of a lot of volunteers, but you could always use more.
Yes, the number is actually 90%.
Wow.
The Red Cross is reliant upon the time given by so many of our volunteers. And yes, those volunteers do any number of things, whether it's responding to home fires. There are volunteer opportunities available at blood drives. You can actually be the person who drives the blood from the facilities to the hospitals, and on and on. Any number of volunteer opportunities available. And yes, there is an ongoing need for volunteers. If that's something you would like to do, we'll work with your schedule. It's what you're able to do and what you'd like to do. redcross.org/volunteer. Great place to go and get signed up. From there, we'll get you trained, and would love to have you as part of the team.
Absolutely. Well, Brian, we have that information for everybody right now on the screen. That's the website that you go to, and we appreciate you today for talking a little bit with us about the need. Really much appreciated, and of course, we hope that you guys can get some volunteers based off of this today. Thank you.
Well, thanks again for the time, and thanks to so many folks who do volunteer. And again, if you're interested, we'd love to have you on board.
Absolutely.